Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage and salutations to our teacher, Bhante. Salutations to Guru Bhante, and all our Dhamma masters, and the Holy Sangha who are present here. Venerable monks, and greetings and metta to all the upasakas and upasikas. A Dhammaful Sunday to you all, as we all have gathered here to grow in Dhamma. You know, in our life, we have all want to love our life. We want to live a life with joy and happiness. And as you all been practicing the Dhamma in your own ways, many of you are listening the Dhamma, practicing the Dhamma, be it fundamentals like the dana, dana, sila, or bhavana. You perform dana when you come to the vihara. You also support your parents, express your gratitude to your parents and serve them when they're alive. When they passed on, you also pay your gratitude to them by sharing the merits. Also, we have Dhamma of Sila, having respect for our virtues, because these virtues are very foundation of our practice. The virtue paves the way for our cultivation. So Sila by itself is a Kushala Dhamma which helps us to accumulate more merits. But what is that which is very important is the supporting Dhamma. Yes, we should practice this Dana Sila. But there is another beautiful thing which supports our Dhamma practice. It is called the Abhaya Dana. The material things what we give, yes, in the form of some kind of things we offer, and then we get merits. But the Abhaya Dana, giving loving kindness and compassion, is a wonderful practice which supports, which helps us even to grow more in Dhamma. Because in our life, we all need to give some directions. Whether we are parents or children, teachers or students, husband and wife, or even the employer and employees, parents and relatives and friends, we all seeking from some sort of direction. But to do so, it is not that we should go around and worship the directions of like east, west, north, south. People do like that. And they say that they believe that by doing so, I am getting some merit. The fact is that we cannot cover up these directions externally. The Buddha's teachings is something which we should look inward and give directions to our own life. When we know what does this mean, that means we should perform our duties. We should come back to the root. We should come back to the fundamentals of Dhamma, the supportive Dhamma. The qualities of the supportive Dhamma which I'm going to talk about today is the practice of Brahma Vihara, the sublime states which can support our practice. And also this will give happiness by following Metta. How many of us actually have Metta truly for ourselves? First of all, to our own self. How many of us have this quality of selflessness, wishing welfare for our family, wishing welfare and happiness to my friends whom I associate every day? How many of us having true metta for the people whom I live in my neighborhood? How many of us have that metta towards my teacher whom I express my gratitude? Or you are working in a workplace but you don't have concern for your employees or employer. So in every aspects of our life, we should have these guardian dhammas which support us. Many times we think, may I be happy? We know what is this metta, but I go home and fight with my wife. I go to my friends and then we argue and debate for some unnecessary, some trifling things. I go to my work, but I don't have any concern for them. I deal with my parents, but I'm so agitated. I can't even listen to my parents what they say. For example, for the children. Or the parents are so moody and so fed up with the children, then they don't think, well, I should listen at least something what my son or daughter is saying. So in every way, the practice of this supporting Dhamma, which is called Metta, is very, very essential factors, not only for our spiritual growth, for to creating an atmosphere, environment where people will love us. Now you go somewhere and you don't feel loved. Husband don't feel loved. Worker don't feel safe. Children don't feel loved. So what is lacking is the pure, selfless love, universal love. Now, in one of the instances, the Buddha says that uh, what is that underlying current which actually depriving us to enjoy this state of pure love? You know, he says that um, kuddho hi pitarang hanti, hanti kuddho cha matarang, kuddho hi brahmanang hanti, hanti kuddho putujanang. So whether this anger actually destroying us in every way. So today we will reflect on this, that what is this metta? What is its characteristics? How does it function? How does it manifest? And when it is manifested, how do you see this result? You don't just can believe, oh, this is metta, but you should actually go further and know that how this teachings, this Dhamma actually works. This also support for development of compassion, development of altruistic joy, and development of equanimity. I don't know whether you know this. Metta is one factor, but we have compassion. We have altruistic joy called mudita, then equanimity, upekha. So how they are interconnected, we'll try to explore this. Well, just now I am said. Okay, so the to to be happy in this world, yes, it is imperative. We all want that. But this wretchedness of anger which deprive us for getting that state of happiness. When you have lova or dosa or moha in the mind, then we are deprived of this happiness. But when you have the wholesome quality of adosa, then this adosa actually attract all the good and positive qualities. They are called the sovana chetasikas, the beautiful factors. These beautiful factors lead us to a beautiful mind. And when this beautiful mind we have is lead us to beautiful karma, the wholesome karma. Because everything which is springs from our own mind, right? Mind is the forerunner. It precedes all mental states. Okay, I just said metta is called a mitra sabhava, a matra sabhava. That means a heart of a friend. You become like a mother for all living beings, right? You become a friend to all, a sarva mitra. Your friends to all, your enemies to none. Wherever you go, be in the home or out of the home or anywhere, even to the all sentient living beings who are may not have this, they cannot speak, but we interact with them. The nature surrounding us, they're tremendously affected through our loving kindness. So everyone, nowadays we have also a problem called sleep. We cannot sleep well. Why? You know that we cannot get up early. We have a lot of bad dreams, horrific dreams, and we don't loved by the people. We have this, lack of love around us because we don't generate that love within us. Therefore, we are lacking in that love. Very simple. When you have love in your heart, then you attract that love. What you give is come back to you. Then we have a face of, so we don't really feel brightness in the mind. Our face becomes so dull. You know, we are, um, you know, as if we have lost interest in our life. When you sit in meditation, you don't find concentration, right? Um, all the time disturbed, unsecured, you know, you're confused. Well, just opposite of that, how do we achieve this? How I can live peacefully? How can sleep? I have a good sleep. How I can get up early in the morning so that I enjoy this peaceful nature. I'll be living in the calm nature, listening the sound of the bird, and have some time for myself. Okay. How I can lead the day so lovingly so that I find meaning in one day of my existence wherever I go. Whether this is human or non human, I don't have any fear. So, such kind of state is called the sublime state, and which is the benefit of practicing this metta. Okay. So, what is this metta? We understand metta means this, a feeling of a mother, feeling of a friend towards another friend. You have a bosom friend, very close friend. What you wish for him is his own welfare. Parasukha parahita kamana. Right? We go out of the way and to wish my friend be well and happy. So that wish is the characteristics of metta. When we have a wish, an intention, and that means you are having that metta. Okay. But the wish is not enough for you. I just said you wish to be happy, but are you really happy? We wish to be happy because when you go home, I'm not happy because my actions and speech are different. We don't really pay attention to our actions. Our actions is not motivated by love, right? For example, the story of Visakha, you know, though his father-in-law, you might have heard the story. He's so rich, Megaramata. Uh, Visakha's father-in-law is very rich, but he's so stingy at the same time. He don't want to share anything. Even the monks who passes in front of his house, he don't give dana. He will eat nicest and choicest food by himself. And then the Visakha Mata says, "Oh Bhante, don't wait in front of my door. because my father-in-law is eating the old food. He is eating his old food. Then this father-in-law got angry. Why? I'm so rich. I'm eating so nicely with a golden plate. But still this my daughter-in-law says I'm eating old food. Then there was an examination that why she says so. She's actually referring not to his food. She was referring his own past merit. So we're eating the old merits, but we're not really cultivating the new merits right now in the present. And we're lacking with that attitude of metta to share with others. When you know this sharing things, you will more delightful with sharing others, that attitude. So this is an example which I gave from the text. Well, the function of metta, as I said, when you have wish, then you act accordingly. You wish that may such and such person be happy, but actually to do something through your body and speech. So the metta follows through our kaya kamma. It is called the metta kaya kamma and metta vachi kamma. So your actions is naturally driven by that thoughts. When you say a wish, may my friends, my dear ones or loved ones be happy and well. May they not meet with dangers. May they be free from physical, mental suffering. Then you won't act in improper way. Then your shila, you are mindful about your shila. When we say sila, sila is not like the panchashila here. It is called the metta sila, right? So, for example, someone is meditating here and a person is shouting so loudly and disturbing him, right? Is it a metta? Do you have real concern for him? No. Maybe your husband and wife studying Dhamma and you don't respect him or her. That's not metta, you know. You all the time you are so used to give order, hey, do this thing for me, do this for me. You're so dependent. Is it metta? It's not. Many times our actions irritates others, but we don't really be mindful about that actions. So when we say metta through our actions and speech, then we have to bring these qualities of loving kindness to our actions, what we do. So we perform that actions with metta. Whatever we do for the good of others. That is called metta kaya kamma, right? So you act it so that you remove the suffering of others. And then, what is this manifestation? How this metta manifests? How do you judge that I have metta really? Because you don't have any dosa. When there is absence of anger or ill will in your heart, then you know this metta has manifested, right? When there is no anger, that means you have metta, loving kindness. It's not even in a very positive situation when you face even the worst situation in your life, right? Somebody may be abusing you, somebody may be accusing you, but even then you don't have that anger in the mind. That means you have metta. So the manifestation of metta is like this. Okay, I said about the characteristics, the functions, and then the manifestation. And then what is this proximity cause? The cause, wherever you go, you feel loved. You shouldn't be dejected or rejected. You're loved by others. That is the result and the result of this whole metta. So I explained to you in a very summarized way that how this metta functions. Now, how do you practice metta through your speech? As I said, your actions, you have to be careful about your actions, how you're performing, so that you will not be supposed to be blamed or reproached by anybody. When the Buddha says, Mata yatha niyang puttang ayusa eka puttam anurakhe, evampi sabbabhutesu manasang bhavai aparimanang. Metta Sutta. He also says, Does nachakudang samachare kinchi enavinyu pare upavadeyum. You should act, behave in such a way that you will not be reproached by the wise people around you. That means your speech should be upright. Your speech should have this metta. And how? How your speech is mettaful? If I ask a question, you are speaking with metta. How do you know? If you ask yourself, am I really speaking with metta throughout my day? Am I really thinking about metta or practicing metta through my actions? Well, through speech, you should speak with at the right time, you know. You should speak the truth. You should speak at the right time. Then we have this gentleness, you know, not roughness in our speech. And then we have called the words which are beneficial. And you speak with metta chitta. You speak with a heart of metta, with a mind of metta. So, right time, truthfully, beneficially, and gently. Okay? At the right time, truthfully, and which is should be beneficial. It should have gentleness in your speech. When these things are there in your speech, you can say that I am having metta with my speech. If not, if you're harshful, if you're unkind, you're speaking not at the right time, you're speaking something unbeneficial, useless, is metta? It's not. So our conversation with people around is matters. Through our conversation, through our dealing, we also create enemies, unfriendship also. You have seen in your life as well how through our speech, if it is metta, then your words are very powerful. Okay? Like a Dhamma speakers who it speaks Dhamma, he should have the qualities of metta. The parents who are teaching to the children should have metta. The friends, as I said, friends should have this metta. The employer or the boss towards his subordinates should have metta. So the metta is sabbata sadhakang. That means the metta is application is everywhere or beyond the boundaries of our place. Like example, countries or the world, there also we want metta. For the leaders, they also want metta. Metta for everybody. You know, for all sentient beings, they all seek metta. Right? For example, you put yourself in another shoe, you're comparing yourself with another living beings. You also seek happiness. What about that being? What about others? Therefore, Buddha says, comparing with others, uh, atanang upamang katwa, atanang upamang katwa, nahaneya naghate. Putting yourself in comparison with all living beings, you should have that metta. Okay, right? So how do you practice now? Coming to the practical aspect, as I said, metta is how it works. How do you follow metta through your speech? But coming to your mind, how many of you are practicing metta every day? Raise your hand. You have a habit of giving metta every single day. Okay. Okay. That's good. So now, one thing is we practice metta to cultivate parami. Metta as a cultivation for perfections. Among the 10 perfections, we have metta, one of them. Metta as a parami. Metta as a mother of all kushala dhamma. As I said, metta which support our shila. Metta supports our meditation, right? Metta support our meditation. Metta also supports developing compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity. Metta helps to reach to the level of jhana. Metta can take you to the rupa vachara jhana. You might have heard Patama jhana, Dutiya jhana, Tatiya jhana, like that. You can reach to samadhi level by practicing this metta. But before that, we have to do practice this metta, our mundane and day-to-day life where we are living every day, so that the living existence become very harmonious. In many suttas, Buddha says the saraniya dhammas, that which brings the harmony and unity, is metta is one of the prominent factors which brings harmony, which brings sangha, unity. So to practice metta, you start with yourself, right? There are two important factors you need to have metta. Is one called happiness, after all. First of all, you have to be happy. Eh, You want to do charity, you want to perform dana, but you have no possessions, nothing to offer. Do you think your intention could be materialized? To give dana, you should have something in your hand so that you can offer it. Likewise, when you have happiness and metta in abundance, you can share this happiness with others. Like, for example, when you go to a agitated, frustrated person, you feel frustrated. When you go to a miserable person and live with him, do you find peaceful? You don't, because you only receive this frustration or negativities from him. But when you go to a positive and peaceful person, you live you find more peaceful because you can feel his radiation. You can feel his positive things. Likewise, so to give happiness is very good thing. We are giving many things materially, but are we giving this happiness as a gift? Giving gift of happiness to the people. It is something very sublime. It's not in ordinary terms. So to do so, you should have this happiness. And then patience. When you have patience, only you can practice metta. You can go from individual to individuals. You can go from place to place. You can radiate this metta throughout the world and throughout different directions. So patience is another requisite for metta. Well, one is metta as a practice of cultivating merits, metta as a practice of cultivating meditation, as a meditative practice. So in your meditation, every day you take a suitable, comfortable postures and sit upright, and then you start with a little bit of anapanasati. You make your mind more concentrated, focused. Breathe in and out. Some people say, meditation teachers say, breathe in love, breathe out compassion. Then they settle their mind, and then they start with this metta. Then you wish, may I be happy and well. May I be free from suffering. May I be, you know, grow in wisdom and compassion. May I be free from disease, dangers, afflictions, mental or physical, like that. Or some says, may I be able to bear the burden of this life. Okay. So all these positive thoughts you generate, first of all, towards yourself. And then you start with individuals around you. Who are the individual you love? You love your parents, you love your teachers, you love your family members, don't you? You seek their happiness, you want to promote their well being. Therefore, you have to visualize them in a mentally, bring in to your mental picture, and then wish, may my teachers, my parents be well and happy. Genuinely, truthfully, with a very sincere heart, without expecting anything, in terms of material things, right? So you go to your loved ones, then you go the people who you don't love. In the society, we have like people disliking people whom they don't like at all. In a particular place, for example, here in this hall, we may not have everybody who like us, or who don't or who dislike us. So they are kind of a uh, madhyamika jana. They are in the middle, neither friends nor enemies. Let's see. So we start with friends and relatives, then we our enemies, the negative people, wish them the same. May they be happy and well, like that. And then the third aspect is the neutral people. Maybe your well wishes, somebody, have an impression on you. You can remember a few of them, give your metta. Okay, now individually, but we don't all the time encounter individual. We have place. You know, the place also matter. So the metta also, that is a way of spreading metta place by place. Take your family as a whole, then your street or village where you stay, then spread it next to the city, the country as a whole. The country as a whole. Bring everyone in the country, all beings, all the people who are living in the country, wish their happiness. Then we go to the next part is the metta should be spread through different directions. So we don't have only one existence or one world, for instance. We have different planes of existence where the beings they live. We have beings in the lower planes, beings in the higher planes. They may be invisible, but they still exist. Beings in the divine realms or the lower realms, right? Buddha says, Dasa Sahasa Lokadhatu. There are innumerable, countless beings who are living in different planets, different existences, world systems, you know. So we radiate this metta in different places, also in different directions, whether east, west, north, south, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, above and below, in all directions, right? It's like in a map, when you have, you draw it, like the world is like this, the universe is like this, and you spread metta in all directions without any exceptions. That means your metta is glowing universal. You have universal loving kindness towards all living beings. So here, metta becomes a universal force, infinite force. It reaches to its culmination. And therefore, one who practices this metta, they are the happiest people in this world. Yeah, this is the word of the Buddha. You know, as I said in the beginning, you want to sleep happily, you want to wake up happily, right? You don't want to see any bad dreams at night. You don't want to feel unsecure from your enemies, right? Because of the absence of metta, we invite a lot of enemies, a lot of negative factors surrounding us. Mm. Then we should have a bright mind, we should have a calm mind so that we can practice meditation. So, looking at all these benefits of metta, the only thing is to practice it in our daily life. Mhm. So, Buddha gave an example that how your mind becomes radiant, just like the clouds. When the clouds are removed, are gone, then this moon also shines. You have a radiant and bright moon. Likewise, when you have this the cover of anger, which is removed from the mind, then we have this radiance of the shining and bright mind. After all, then your mind is at rest. It's just a kind of pure cold water. But the same water can be become boiling water when you have anger. The water becomes so hot. Mind becomes very hard. Have you experienced this? You have experienced this, most of you, don't you? Yes, everybody. Maybe a small anger or a big anger or a momentary anger, or you say a mm, long-term anger. All have experienced in your daily life. So to overcome them, overcome this uh, thing, and to attain all these blessings of metta, which I've just explained to you, all of you need to do this practice of metta. How? Not just on the cushion. When you are closing eyes, okay. But when you're opening the eyes, you have metta through your body, metta through your speech. Because in our wakeful hours, we perform actions through our body or speech. At the time, there is this metta should accompany you. So metta kaya kamma, metta vachi kamma. So today, mm, as I have, told you the order how you spread metta. The first step is yourself. Second is the individuals. Third part is the place. You know. Then the directions. Right. It all starts from you. It all started from you. So, dear friends, this is the Dhamma Desana today. We have discussed what is, after all, how do we um, give directions? How do we live with metta? How do we achieve these blessings which I have mentioned? So many ways through our cultivation of practice. One practice is just to cultivate some merits through metta. Yes, but this metta in return supports our meditation. It supports compassion. Say a person is practicing metta, he has compassion, and when he sees suffering, he just cannot sit quietly. He do something to remove this person's suffering. Compassion. And when you have metta, then you don't feel jealous. By witnessing somebody's success, you feel joyful. You have this mudita bhava, the altruistic joy, and you rejoice in your friend's success or anyone's success surrounding you, in your company, for example, right? And then you have equanimity. You have a balance. When there is happiness, you are not so elated. When you are suffering, you are not dejected. You have a, or when you are extremely wealthy, you know, you don't overly delighted or attached to the wealth. Likewise, when you are extremely upset or in suffering, you also have to have this equanimity. So, metta supports karuna, mudita, and upekha. So, today I will live at this point of discussing this metta very in an extensive way. I hope that you would practice this metta through your actions, through your speech, through your mind. Okay. So, may in the blessings of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha helps you to see and realize the Dhamma. May you all, having listening Dhamma and practicing Dhamma, grow on the path of Nibbana and attain to the noblest Dhamma, which is the suggestion of all suffering, and attain to the highest and supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.